Let me try to position myself a little bit better. Hold on for a second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Give me one momento. It's so beautiful out here. I want to do a video out here. I normally do it in a secret garden. I see why I normally do it in a secret garden because it's filtered lighting. And man, it's such a beautiful day. How y'all doing today? Let's see if we can get this thing turned around a certain way. I put my back to the light. Oh no. Huh. Oh no, none of this gonna work. How y'all feeling today? Apologize about the shaky. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to do a 360. Maybe this will help. See, that's a little bit better. Yeah, a little bit better, fam. I think that's a little bit better. I can actually see my nose and my head and the sweat and all of that. How y'all feeling this morning? Good morning. Good morning. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. Unbiased. How you doing? Good morning. Good morning, Queen. How you doing this morning? Family man, how are you? How does it go? What's going on? Kathy B. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. My friend Ben, what's going on? Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone had a blessed weekend. We made it. We made it. Put some T's in the chat. We made it. I'm thankful. I don't know about y'all, but I'm thankful. Let me put some T's in the chat. I'm thankful. Yes, Lord. We made it. It is October the 27th. Can y'all believe that? It's 2024. We about to say 2024. You about to be written in the books 2024. Are we serious? Hold on for 1 second. 2024. We at the end of the 10th month in 2024. And man, time is moving. Time is seriously moving. Kathy B is definitely thankful. Good morning. Good morning. Gigi, what's going on, beautiful queen? Grand rising. When it rise, high it rise. Good morning. Good morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. Shy, good morning, my ATLian. What's going on? Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. How y'all feeling this morning? We got Just One Ella. What's going on? Welcome in, Just One Ella. How you doing? Good morning. My Renaissance. What's going on, my Renaissance? Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good to see you this morning. Put some T's in the chat. Y'all thankful? Put some T's in the chat for me this morning. This morning, I want to talk to you about a couple of things today. And I got a few messages, and it's been asking me about like eco, with the land situation, all this land thing. Uh, I got a couple of questions, and I want to kind of address those questions because I said it's hard for me to put this in an email. So I said instead of me trying to put this in an email or to a message or in a comment, I'm going to have a little conversation about it. So one of the questions was, is it better to finance or buy your land cash? Is it better to finance or buy your land cash? Me personally, most things I prefer to buy cash. And it really depends on a lot of different things. And let me just explain this to you. Um, the reason why you want to buy cash, of course, you don't have to worry about it no more. It's done. All you have to do is just do the taxes, the maintenance part aspect of it. We all understand that's simple, that's plain. But some of us, we can't afford to buy cash, or we're not patient enough to save up for cash. If the opportunity comes and the situation is right, is it good to buy finance, I financed land in the past. I don't have any qualms about that. The only thing about finance, I'm very reluctant into doing improvements on my land. Uh, One time I financed the land and I did a home and a mobile home package or modular home package. So we found our modular home and we picked out our modular home and we found the land and we wrapped it together. Now, wrapping those two together, it allowed me to do some creative financing, right? So some of the benefits in wrapping your home and your land together is you have one payment. That's number one. You don't have to worry about paying this person, paying that person. And then I can string it out a whole lot longer, which means I can get lower monthly payments, because the longer I finance does not mean that requires that you have to pay for 30 years or 40 years. Now they got 40-year mortgages, right? So, but most of the stuff that I finance, whether it's cars or whatever I finance, I typically almost always pay them off. I pay them off early. I finance a car for 7 years just to get that cheap, low down monthly payment. And if the terms are right, there's no prepayment penalty, and there's no other crazy finance charges or no early payment charges, which I don't go into those type of loans. Me personally, this is just me personally, because they asked me, so I'm just sharing. I pay them off early. If my payment is $200 a month, because I want that long-term monthly payment, because some months in life be lifing, some stuff come up, a transmission fall out your car, or air conditioning need replacing, and rather for me to be locked into a $600 and $700 a month payment, I can get it long term and then may get it to $200 to $300, and I still be paying like I'm paying $700 or $800, right? So I don't have a problem with paying extra every single month, and I put it to the principal. Make sure, back in the days you used to write out checks. If you do write out checks, you want to write down however much you're going to pay to the actual loan, and then you want to put down another line. So for example, if my mortgage is $500 a month, but I'm paying $700, I put $200 to the principal and I write it in my notes. Or if I'm paying online, I put that down in my memo. Or if I can do it online, a lot of banks, they're now allowing you to say this much to the principal, this much to the actual loan. Because what if you don't specify that, sometimes what they'll do, they'll decrease your loan amount for that next month, and you're not really saving money because that interest is still stacking. You want that payment going directly to the principal. That's one thing that you want, right? So all of that said, when we did our first home, I was young, we were young, really didn't know what we were getting into, and we made some mistakes. But I'm not saying it was a bad thing. It was good in a lot of ways. It was good for us because it was cheaper than rent, number one. And we had a home. We had half acre of land or 3/4 or something like that, 3/4 of a half an acre of land. And we had our own home. And we had 2,200 plus square feet. And I think Gigi was she was pretty old. I was just 23 when I first got the house. I won't say how old Gigi was, but I was 23 when I bought my first home, and we bought it together. And I just remember that I wanted that payment to be as low as it possibly could, because the goal was to always pay extra every single month, make it where I'm comfortable with paying extra every single month. Hey, what's going on? Good morning. Huh? Oh, you hear me? Oh, okay. My bad. See, y'all ain't supposed to be telling people that what I be saying about Gigi getting old and older. But anyway, y'all gotta hold it down, man. I thought we down for one another. Okay, Be Rich, what's going on, Be Rich? What's up? We got just one Ella. She's thankful, super thankful. Jackie Jenkins, good morning. What a beautiful morning to be blessed, my brother. Look at this, y'all. I could not go inside and do this live, y'all. I could not do it, man. Get y'all some land, please. Get you some land. Now, let me hold that. I'm gonna come back to get you some land. Remind me, because I'm gonna forget. In the chat, I'm gonna finish this first question, but remind me to come back with get you some land, okay? Because I will forget, and I want to share something with you on that. Timothy, what's going on? Good morning to you, Timothy. Good morning. It's a beautiful name. I like Timothy. I really like that name. Dana Springs. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. What's going on? Timothy got some T's in the chat. Definitely thankful. Definitely thankful. Either will work. Yeah, either will work. And this is the thing. Life is about options. The better life means the typical person has more options. So the more options you have in life, typically life is golden. The fewer options, the limiting beliefs, mindset, money, limitation on income, that can create a confining type life, or a more pressuring cooking type atmosphere. So options, you can do either or. Now I'm going to talk about what's the good things about financing land, and then I'm going to talk about buying cash. Let's talk about the benefits. So let's keep going down financing. So you can do owner financing, of course. You can do creative finance. You can do collective finance. You can also do people. I've never tried this, but I've heard some friends that have collectively put in money, and then they pay their friends back interest. So you might have, just say, a piece of property may cost $20,000. And you might have 10,000, and then you get two friends to put in 5,000 a piece, and then you promise them over the next 5 years that you'll give them their money back plus interest. There's different ways you can do this thing. Or you might say, hey, landowner, I want to buy this piece of land. I want to put down 50%, and if you can, let me finance it over the next XYZ amount of period of time. So there's so many different ways. Or say if you don't have that much money, then you can find land that you can put almost a little bit to nothing down, and you can make monthly payments, but make sure you can afford to continuously make those monthly payments, right? But keep this in mind. You get what you pay for, fam. You get what you pay for. So for instance, if I have a remote location deep down in the jungle, deep down in the wilderness, some of my creative financing options or pricing and flexibility of the pricing will typically be more favorable for me as a buyer. The more the land is resources, natural resources, location. When it comes to real estate, everything is about location. The more desire, or the more people desire a certain location, the higher the price is. So that's why you will go and you say, why is land on this side of town more expensive than that side of town? Because people on that side of town are willing to pay more for that piece of property versus another. And some people, they just crazy. They just all emotional, and it makes no rhyme or reason with their price. And sometimes you run into that. Well, I got this emotional bond with this land, and I worked hard for this land. I just feel like it's worth such and such. So stay away from those situations, because the beautiful thing is there's so many tools and resources that you can use to make sure you're getting a good price. You know what I'm saying? Even if you look at the property tax assessors, every county got a property tax assessor's office. You can go online, you can look up that address, you can find the parcel number, and then you can look at the recent sales. You got Zillow, you got a Land Watch, you got a lot of different websites where you can see a lot of different things, and it'll show you what are the average sales in that area. So that's a good research tool if you don't have a realtor that you're working with and you just out there looking for land, just out there searching for land. So financing, the benefits of financing, it can get you onto that land a little bit quicker, and it won't tie up all of your money. That can be something else. If you got a lot of stuff you want to do and you know it's going to require a lot of cash, but if you put everything in your land, then guess what happens? you might liquidate all your cash, and then now it's going to take you years upon years to start doing your infrastructure, which me personally, we did it that way. It's not bad. Pretty much liquidated almost all of my resources to acquire the land, to buy the land. Because this is the thing that I keep in mind. When you buy land cash, my friends, and if you're talking about homesteading, you're talking about living on that land, you're talking about staying on that land. If it's paid for, when you put up a fence, it's your fence. If it's paid for, when you dig a well, that investment is your investment and you reap the return on that investment. When you finance, if something happens where you can't make your payments and they foreclose on that land, all of the infrastructure you have put in, your sheds, your lean-to barns, your well, your septic tank, you can risk losing that. And I get it. That's no different between a house. And that's the American way. You know what I'm saying? But there's a whole lot more confidence in you having that land. You got the deed to that land. And when you do say, okay, I'm finna sink tens of thousands of dollars into this piece of property, once it's done, and it's mine as far as me being a steward where I can own it as long as I continue to pay my taxes. So that gives you that good reassurance in both ways. Let's see. Miss D's Garden, how you doing? Good morning. Good morning. Yes, every time you can, try to outpace interest. Try to outpace interest. If everybody here on credit cards, on car payments, don't forget on land too, or even on a mortgage. Another way that people can acquire land, sometimes what I tried to do, which we tried to do, but it fell through, find the ugly house, but with the beautiful piece of land. Find the ugly home, but beautiful piece of land. It can be quite beneficial if everything works after you get on that land. Let me put that caveat on that. You're still, life is about risk and about chances. So do your research as much and mitigate as much of your risk. But we tried to find the ugly duckling house or structure. Hopefully it had a well, hopefully it had a septic tank, hopefully it had all of those things. But just because it has those things does not mean when you get ready to put a new structure on there, does not mean it will be approved. So keep that in mind too. You might have a well, it might have a septic tank, it might have electricity, it might have a lot of different stuff as far as infrastructure. But when you get ready to either build, construct, start pulling permits, they may go and take a look at some of your infrastructure and deem that it's not inhabitable. And they may shut it down, the process, until you fix it. So just because you have all the infrastructure, you got an old house that was built in 1940, they didn't take care of it, somebody passed, it's been sitting for years. It might have electrical issues. It might have well issues. It might have septic tank where they may say, hey, you're going to either need to connect to the city now, or you're going to need to dig another well or do another septic tank. So be prepared for that. The goal is not to have to do that, but sometimes you might. Another thing when it comes to septic tanks, imagine this. I had a 1-bedroom house with 3 baths. And then I had a 2-bedroom house with 1 bath. Which house would need the bigger septic system? Y'all put in the chat. Tell me what you think. I got a 1-bedroom house with 3 bathrooms. And then I got a 2-bedroom house with 1 bathroom. Which one you think would need the bigger septic tank? In most cases, I'm not saying every case, but here in the state of Florida, which one you think would need the most? Number 1 or number 2? Y'all put in the chat. I'm finna go down to the chat and see which one y'all choose. Let's see which one y'all gonna choose. All right, we got T Perry. What's going on, T Perry? T Perry says the house with 3 bathrooms, question mark. Okay, we got 3-bedroom. I don't think that was an option. It was 3 bathrooms, 1 bedroom, 3 bathrooms. And then we got 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. So we got one house here with 1 bedroom, 3 bathrooms. And then we got another house right next to it with 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. Which one you think will need the larger septic tank? Okay, we got 1 bedroom. They go by bedroom. Bam! All smoking tea. Come on, smoking tea, come through. They go by bedrooms, not by baths. They go by bedrooms and not by baths. Thank you, smoking tea. All smoking tea. All smoking tea came on in and just slid in there with the knowledge in there. Appreciate that, smoking. There's a lot of things that you may go or you might be going on your journey and you might approximate certain things. So think about that little bungalow that you bought this piece of land and just think about you can tap into that septic tank because it's a little bungalow. And then you bring in just say that bungalow had 3 bedrooms, right? And then it may have 1 bath. And then you might say, hey, I want to go in and I'm going to put up a 2-2 in there, right? So now we got a bungalow that you have not dismantled, you have not tore down, and it's connected to the septic tank. So you got a bungalow with 3 bedrooms and 1 bath. Then you're going to come in and you're going to tie it in and you're going to put you a nice little home, a cottage with 2 bedrooms and 2 baths. You're going to have to expand that septic tank because now they're going to view that same piece of property, especially you trying to tie into that septic tank. They're going to view that 3 bedroom and then that 2 bedroom. That's 5 bedrooms. That's 5 bedrooms. So the septic tank will have to expand or your drain field will have to expand depending on the size of the septic tank. Because some people overdo it. Like, hey, they might have put in a large septic tank, but the drain field might be accommodating to the actual structure. So just keep those things in mind, fam, whenever you trying to estimate, approximate your costs and trying to get an understanding of how much you're going to need, because all of these things are so important. Now, understand too, if you have something existing and you're getting ready to pull permits, which I recommend, I don't like it. I don't want to do it, but I'm telling you, fam, you want to pull as many permits as you can far as within, let me stop. Pull as many permits as you can, because this is what it's going to do. If you ever have to sell it, if you turn 1 bedroom into a den, right? Or no, just say you had 1 open room and you made it a bedroom. And then you advertise that you have 3 bedrooms when it only had 2. Here in the state of Florida, a bedroom is not deemed a bedroom unless it has a closet. It's certain requirements that has to have. If you're in a house, matter of fact, our first home, I'll give you a class example. We had a 3 bedroom, 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath, right? 1 room, I made an office out of it and I tore out the closet. When we got ready to sell it, they couldn't advertise that we had a 3 bedroom. They could only advertise that we had 2 bedrooms and 2.5 baths because I took the closet out. So whenever you do alterations to a place, and this is in Florida, I can't say it's going to be like that for anywhere else, but here in Florida, this is what we ran into because we took out the closet. Now, in order for me to convert it, all I had to do was rebuild a closet. At that time, I wasn't willing to do it, and I knew that the buyers would use their imagination because our realtor found the buyer. So it made it very convenient. And we knew that they could use their imagination, say, hey, I could put up a closet in here and this go back to a 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath. So it's a lot of little tricky little nuances that when you're estimating and you're doing your costs and when you're building, you want to make sure, because these laws are changing by the month. Let me tell you this. We've been on this property now for 2.5 years now, right? Going on to 3. We have just acquired our structure here, just got our beautiful home here. But the journey, when we first got here, the laws was totally different. There were no laws against living in an RV. There was no laws against living in a cabin or a shed house. But over the time that we were here, as we was doing our infrastructure, getting the well, getting the septic, clearing the land, putting in right-of-ways, putting in driveways, as we were doing all of those things, they were having county meetings. County meetings, they, leaders of the community, said, we don't want this county to have people on land living in RVs, living in truck. And I get that. I get that. If you're living in a neighborhood, got an HOA, or you got close proximity, I get that. But when people buy a quantity of land and you can't even see them from the road, what's the harm, fam? But what's the harm is no true taxation. When you put a structure, you get a house, they can increase your property value, which means increase taxes. So understand the things that you say and you do can be used against you. In this government world, the things that we do and the way we move can be used against you instead of for you. But it can be used for you too in so many ways. It depends on how you look at it. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going off. Let me go back up. Let me go up. Yeah, T Perry. Yeah, that's fact. Belinda said 3-bedroom. What's up, Belinda? How you doing? Good to see you. Passionately intrigued. What's going on? Hello. 1 bath, 2 bedrooms. You know, in that answer, so the answer to answer that, just say which one would have a larger septic tank. It probably would be the same size septic tank, because a standard size septic tank generally starts at a 2-bedroom minimum size. And then I think the 2-bedroom goes up. I mean, the septic tank goes from like 1 bedroom to 3 bedrooms here in this area. I'm just saying this area. I don't mean that by no means, because I'm quite sure in some areas they can go with smaller septic tank. I'm quite sure even here, but the people that I talk to, the majority of them, they say the standard size is 1 bedroom to 3 bedrooms. Then when you get into 4 bedrooms, it starts to go up, and then so on and so on. And sometimes it may not. When I talked to the inspector, the health inspector, when she came out and inspected the septic tank, she said, based on the size of our septic tank, we would just have to increase our drain field. We wouldn't have to replace our septic tank because our septic tank was big enough, but we would have to extend our drain field a little bit longer. So it all works different ways for different people. And for those of you all that don't understand what I'm saying by septic tank and drain field, so here with our area, and every area is different, even in the same state. This does not cover the whole state of Florida. They got above ground septic systems. They got in-ground septic systems. They have multiple chamber septic systems. It can vary. You need an engineer to come out, which that's what we had to pay for, have an engineer to come out, and then the engineer would draw up plans, take soil tests, and do a lot of tests and measurements, and then look at the content of the soil and take it in multiple locations, and then decide where's the best placement for the septic tank. And also, fam, please, if I had to go back and do it again, I want to be careful. I don't have any regrets, but I don't know if I would have did the well first. I think I would have rather did the electricity first. But because we lived here and we lived on the land, water was more important than electricity. So that's why I say it's so many different variants. Based on our situation when we were here, without a doubt, I would have did water first. But if I didn't have to live on this land and it's empty raw land, and if I just said I'm fixing to purchase different pieces and parts of this property, I would probably do electricity. And the only reason why I do electricity first is because of the permitting process. That's the only reason. And the reason why I say that is there's so many different things that you can work around if you already have electricity on your property. Where the hangup comes at, if you don't have electricity, then you start building on it. There's a lot more stringent requirements and things, and you don't want to hook nothing up to that electricity unless you got a professional electrician, which I'm from the country. We ran our own, and I did it here. This is why I ran into some hangups, which I wouldn't advise you to do it like that unless you know what you're doing. Which the issue wasn't electricity, but it's the codes. Codes have changed. The conduit, the gauge of the wire, the gauge of the conduit, the placement of the conduits, the connectors, all of that. All of this stuff is different. Some stuff may need a surge protector, all of that kind of stuff. The depth of your trenches, all of that. It's not that, okay, I know how to hook up something to my electrical box. But my recommendation is don't add nothing unless you have a different pole. Don't add nothing to that electricity box until you get your structure there. You get it everything, all of your infrastructure there in there, and get it approved, and you get that wiring. So another question, now that we've gone through that, another question that came up, it was like, Eco, I noticed you got a modular home or a manufactured home. You got a manufactured home. Why would you get a manufactured home versus actually building a home? We, at multiple times, we contemplated building. We estimated. We got a bunch of estimates. We also looked at, we did the shed to home. Long as we were off grid, we were fine with the shed to home. But the moment we connected to electricity, everything changed. And then they had time limits in which we could stay on this land. Yes, fam. That's why permitting is so important. The only thing that saved us was the beginning. We did permits for the driveway, permits for clearing the land. We did permits for having an RV out here. We pulled permits, and a lot of people say, hey, you ain't got to pull all them permits. You got to do that. The only thing that saved us, because we ran into a situation where we were trying to transition from the RV to the cabin, and we were going to do another cabin, right? Then we got electricity, and they would not connect the electricity for us. Once we went through all of that stuff, we're getting everything done with people calling the fire marshal and all of that crazy stuff. They would not move forward, and we could not get a clear permit to connect to a structure. Because the moment we did that, once again, the rules changed. They wanted us to retrofit our cabin or our shed to cabin to standards that was crazy. The estimates, the lowest estimate we got was around $120,000 to convert a shed to a cabin. We could build 1,000 square foot house for around 140, 150. So it just didn't make any sense. So we had a short window of time, and we did not want, even though we did in the end, we did not want to finance. We wanted everything cash. And for a while, we got away with it pretty good. Everything was good. The septic tank, the well, everything, the land, the electricity, everything paid for cash. Everything was good. You know, RV was paid, everything, you know, so it was like everything is aligning. But then when it came to applying the electricity, they say, whoa, you cannot live in that RV, number one, because the rules change. So we won't allow you to connect that RV to that power if you're living out here. Number two, you cannot connect your cabin or shed to cabin, whatever you want to call it, to the electricity. Everything came to a halt. Then they said you pulled a permit for the RV, but it's about to expire. So you all gonna have to change your building plan, specs, all of that stuff, or we're gonna have to maybe fine you. We had a group of individuals down the road who got shut down. They had a compound down the road. They got completely shut down. They can't even live on that land, but they violated bad. They pulled no permits. They had cabins out there, no sewage, no water. They didn't have nothing. They just went back there and started living. And so they're cracking down on that more and more and more for people living basically for free. Why would you? Well, anyway. So just keep that in mind, fam, that you're going to have to, it seems creative. Like we thought that, hey, we could live in this cabin for some years and slowly save up and build us a house, which we still plan on building maybe multiple structures out here. This is not the all there, all be all. But then we said, hey, we didn't want to get into a crazy amount of money. And it's mainly me and Gigi, you know, and little Gigi. And so we don't need a lot of square footage. We don't want to spend all of our time inside the home. And we wanted something quick. And we needed it quick. We needed it fast. And we needed to react. So we had a little short window, around 90 days, to make something happen. And guess what happened? Within about 60, maybe 60 days, our home was here. And we chose to move to a manufactured home. We've already owned one before. We know the ins and outs. And then we got one that was zone 3. It has 2x6 walls, 2x6 studs all the way around, 2x4s interior. So we knew we wanted something that was well built, well constructed, and we want an aluminum roof because here in Florida, everybody had them shingles blowing off and all that stuff. It was a lot of different things that we know we wanted. And so we paid a little bit more than what we really wanted. But a mobile home or a manufactured home, whatever you want to call it, or whatever you want to classify it, however it makes you feel warm and cozy. This particular home, it fit inside where this is something we could literally pay off rather quickly. And this is something that is not going to bang the budget. It's not going to bust the budget. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, we are pleased. We don't have to go in here. We don't have to do no painting, no flooring. No, we got mowing sinks, mowing faucets. We don't have to do nothing. We could just move in, AC done. Nothing needs to be replaced. It's turnkey. And from me leaving the RV to this, I was like, thank you, thank you, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. So we are ecstatic. And that's the reason why we chose to get that. Now, Be Rich, you already know I want my A-frame. I do plan to one day construct me an A-frame. I got my spot where I want to put it at, but I do want my A-frame with the wraparound deck. I do want to do that, but I'm not going to get in a 30-year mortgage to do it. Just not going to happen. I want to live. I want to enjoy my life because my little friend Ben, if Ben is in here, my friend, time will fly, my young buck. And enjoy your days every day. Enjoy every day, because what's going to happen is you're going to watch time fleet, time pass, and you're going to be like, man, I did all this work, but I really didn't get to enjoy life. So we want a stress-free life, relaxed life. We want to enjoy. We want to work on our projects. We want to live in a great manner where we can truly enjoy life. So that was the reason for that. Let's see. Kathy B says, my office is a bedroom since it has a closet, but it actually is a form of dining room. And that's the thing, you know, you can have things classified as certain things. And like I said, it's not, if you're staying there, you're just staying there forever. That don't matter. The key is what's going to matter. If you ever get ready to sell certain things, you need to make sure that you have the understanding of some of the rules to real estate and how it works in different states and different counties. So I just wanted to let people know, because I know we all like to do different additions and different cosmetic things to our house, bust out walls, knock down walls. And sometimes we don't pull permits. And then you didn't realize you bust down a load bearing wall. And then now you here you're getting ready to move, you're getting ready to buy a house, and you're waiting to sell this house, and then you can't get a buyer or you can't get anyone to close on it because you took shortcuts while you stayed there. So just keep those things in mind that before you alter your structure, even though it's yours, you can do whatever you want to. But keep this in mind that know the rules and the laws, because if you ever get ready to liquidate it, sell it, or sometimes even refinance in so many ways, they may need to come in, they may need to inspect. First thing a lot of people are going to do anyway when they're looking at a house, they're going to look at the permits. They're going to pull the permits. You know what I'm saying? And some things you can build, like say if I put a deck on the back of here and just say they said that this wasn't permitted or whatever, I can easily pull that deck apart, pull it off. Some things are lean to a little car shed off to the side. Some things you can dismantle really quick and easy and get rid of it. You know what I'm saying? If you do some type of addition. So just keep those things in mind too. What's up, G Hud? What's going on? Good to see you. Good to see you. I had to leave a country. Had to leave a county because they didn't want RVs on the land. It's getting more and more. And I did a video in the past where all of this stuff that we're watching on social media, YouTube, and all these other platforms, there are a lot of people who've been living off grid, who've been living affordable life, living here, living there. They are noticing that a lot of people who were nomads are now starting to buy property. Now, check this out. They're noticing that some of these nomads, they've been nomading, but now they're noticing with the restrictions on overnight stays, the part limitation in days, and more people are now looking at reduced cost ways of living. And there's more people living in cars, vans, trucks, RVs, all of these different things. The laws are now getting stricter and they're changing overnight to where you used to sleep or stay at a camp or stay in a state park, and now they limiting the days, they limiting the time. They're like, okay, you can stay here for 4 hours, but you got to move. You can't stay here no longer than so many days and all that kind of stuff. So now they're transitioning to maybe buying a little property so they can move their vehicle, their alternative lifestyle, and they can be left alone. But now the counties are paying attention to that. And they are changing. It ain't just the county. Some of the citizens, some of the people, nosy neighbors. It's a list of different people who are saying, hey, they back there living on that property and they living in cars. They don't have no waste disposal. They don't have no nothing. I'm finna call the county on them. And so now some of the rules are changing and limiting people from having RVs. And our county changed. So our county, the county that I live in, will allow you to get an RV permit only if you are constructing or planning on constructing your permanent dwelling. And it can only be for 18 months. So you better have everything ready within 18 months and ready to go. Now, can you get an extension? I'm not sure. I'm told that in some situations you can, as long as they can see some active movement, because they understand there may be some delays or different things like that when it comes to building a home or constructing a home. So all of these things are not in favor for us, even though we own the land, we have the land, for us to be left alone and to be at peace. And don't be surprised when you look up in the air and you see drones, because they're getting fancy, my friends. They checking at night and they checking during the day. They used to use planes, but that was too expensive. And they still use planes in some places. They got services. I know a guy, he has a business where he does drones and planes, and he does photography. He owns his business where he ex-military, and that's what he does. He flies and he takes pictures of for real estate, for the county, for insurance companies, for a lot of different people. I mean, he does well, and that's what he does. He takes photographs of different properties, and he does assessments and different things like that. Let's see. Go back to the chat. Appreciate that. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up. I appreciate that, y'all. It matters when y'all hit the thumbs up. Appreciate that, G Hood. Thank you for reminding everybody. Good info, and thank you. This is a valuable information. Yeah, you know, what I don't want is for you all to come up with a plan. And I'm watching a lot of people say, I'm done with my 9 to 5, I'm done with the traditional work, and there's nothing wrong with that. I was done with it too, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, things happen and things come up that you cannot control, and you gotta pivot. Now, nothing is more frustrating than here you are, you go out and you sell everything you have, and then you have a goal, you have a plan, and then when you get ready to implement that plan, you're getting all these barriers and you're getting all these roadblocks. So there are some ways that you can get around some of these barriers and some of these roadblocks, okay? So I'm not going to share them online, but there's some ways, okay? All right, let's keep going. Let's see. If you purchase land and place a mobile home on it, then they will change the law to no mobile homes. Can they make you leave or take your land? Awesome question. Whoa, I like that question. Matter of fact, I had another video about no mobile homes. It's so funny on I would say anything is possible, fam. Anything is possible. But most of the time, if you already are established prior to these laws in place, most of the time you're safe and you need to get your lawyer if they come messing with you, right? So in most cases, you're good. But there are other cases where it's reverse. See, what I'm starting to see is the reverse, right? In Florida, land is very highly sought after, right? And housing is so expensive here. So there's a neighborhood that I did a video on where it's a lake, and they broke up these big old tracts of land around this lake. And in the beginning, they banned all mobile homes. They wouldn't allow no mobile homes to be back there, right? And over the years, it did not take off like they wanted to, even though where they built this community, there were existing mobile homes already there. Now, those mobile homes are there to this day. If they haven't been destroyed in previous storms, they are still here to this day. So that kind of go inside with your question. They're still there. Some of them right there on the lake. It's a beautiful big old lake, and some of them are right there on the lake in a prime location, right? But over the years, it did not take off as well, and some people slid in mobile homes on some of those properties because some of these properties were big acreage, and some people were placing mobile homes there, even though they were not supposed to. Then some of the neighbors started to go back and forth, and they were able to work it out or what have you. But what ended up happening, because they never were supposed to give them a permit, see? So it was it was both faulty on both sides, because you got to get a permit to move a mobile home. You just can't just move a mobile home. You got to get a permit to transport it. You got to get a permit to put it there. You got to get a permit to connect electricity to it. It's just like a house. It's the same thing, except it's just mobile. So years later, this property has just been sitting there, and guess what's happening? Some of the land owners had say, I'm done with it, because they thought it was going to take off, and it did not take off. And they've been sitting there. Some people passed away. And so if you don't pay your taxes, guess what happens? The government gets it back, owns your land. All right. So the county owns a lot of these parcels, right, of land. Some of them are people who just say, I'm not paying the taxes. I bought it as an investment. I thought this community was going to take off, and 20 years and 30 years later is not doing nothing. I'm not going to keep paying um, taxes on this land, and nobody's really buying this land. So guess what ended up happening? They start relaxing. They went over the HOA, and they went the council had a council meeting, and they start allowing certain specific types of mobile homes or manufactured homes, because they no longer call, even though we call them mobile homes, but after 1973 or 77, they quit calling them mobile homes because of the build quality had to be federal standards. Prior to there, it was not constructed up to federal standards. So the moment the feds got involved with the construction of these manufactured homes, they had to build according to spec. And so in order for them to be built according to spec, they then referred to them as manufactured homes. So anything that's prior, like say late 1970s on up, those are considered manufactured homes. Now, then you got mod homes. Those are something totally different, okay? But with all that said, it's funny that you asked that question. So I've watched that piece, and I continue to watch because over the years it's fascinating. I watched that piece of land go from one end of the spectrum to another end of the spectrum to another end of the spectrum. And you got some people who got some $1 million houses out there on that lake, and it might be a 1959 mobile home or a lean-to over there on the other side, a fish hut over there off to the side. Now, granted, you know, it's Florida. They're going to trick them out. Some of the mobile homes, you can't even tell they mobile homes. They trick some of them out where you can't even tell them. Some of them put them on stilts and everything else. And some of them fish cabins, and man, they're nice. It's not like something you sleep on, but at the same time, it's funny how people say, hey, you know, I don't like them. I don't do this. I don't do that. But they still got mobile homes that's still standing on the lake after all the years, and they're still there. So yeah, that's a great question. I'm glad you brought that question up. Y'all are doing a great job. Love it. Thank you. Man, it's a lot of work. Be Rich got a question. So you can hook power up to the RV and the cabin as long as you're not living in it. Correct. Excellent. I'm glad you did that observation. I don't know if I was clear. To explain that. And this is weird. Let me talk about the RV situation here in this county. I shared it before. They said we couldn't live in our RV, right? But we can live in our RV if we live in an RV park. This is why I'm saying, remember I said in my live that government is, well, I'm gonna stop. I'm not doing that no more. If I had an RV park, I could live in my RV full time. So if I went and I paid a lot rent, I could stay in my RV full time. So guess what Eco and Gigi said? What we can do, we got 20 acres. How about let's just say 2 to 3 acres, we're going to make an RV park. That way we can still live on our property, and we have it zoned for RV. And if somebody want to come out, you know, maybe make a little money too on the side. So we were getting ready to put in for the application to convert some of our property to be an RV park. That way we can still stay in our RV and we can be, you know, left alone. Guess what they said? You live on a graded road. That means a dirt road. The county that comes through once a week, sometimes multiple times a week, they grade the road. They keep the road pretty good. Not as good as they did when we first got here, but they still keep the road pretty good. But we live on a graded road. Now, a paved road, even though they said it, okay, let me slow down. A mile and a half, if you stay a mile and a half on a graded road in this particular county, you can't have an RV park. and they say we was just a little bit more than 1.5 miles, which we're not. But the measurement, there's multiple ways to get to our home. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's at least 4 ways to get to our home. They took the longest way to get to our home to come to that conclusion. Because if you take 2 of these ways, it's less than 1.5 miles. 2 ways to a paved road. It's 2 ways out of here that we are literally less than 1.5 miles to a paved road. But these are the things that people just don't share. They don't tell. Now, going back to what B. Rich said, I had to say that because it just ticks me off sometimes how this stuff works, and it's so many forces against people trying to live within their means or just trying to be free and be left alone. It's one of them things. But B. Rich said he had a question. Let me put it back on here. So you can hook power up to your RV and the cabin as long as you're not living in it. You are so correct, my friend. This is what we did. Remember, we had the power pole. We got the power electricity in here. We finally got everything. Then we got a power pole. And I ordered my power pole with a 30 amp receptacle because we were living in an RV and we was out here. So I ordered the power pole to be brought in and with a 30 amp receptacle. So guess what I can do? Connect my RV to it. What I didn't know was when I got ready to connect to the cabin, they said, I need your permanent address. But I didn't know what was coming to me, friend. I didn't know. So that's why I say, y'all have to listen to me. My address was here on the land. Gave the address to the land. And they said, we see you got permits for a community development plan for multiple cabins or whatever. We see that, but we don't see where you have actually built them. And I said, what? Y'all came out here and inspected my cabin. Department of Health came out here. The county came out here, had an engineer to come out here. All of that. What y'all mean? Then they pulled it up and they said, no, you got a permit for a shed, but you didn't get a permit for a permanent dwelling. So we see the cabin, but that's not a permanent dwelling cabin. And in order for you to do a permanent dwelling cabin, you didn't ask for that information. So I'm not going to give it all to you because you ain't asked me. I want to stay focused on the question because I do get sidelined. But this is the question that B. Rich asked. So the way that we were able to get around that is that we say we would not live in the cabin or the RV because that way we can connect. So if it's not your permanent dwelling, then yes, you can connect. So you can have an empty lot. And permanent dwelling is funny. You got to look at your laws. You got to look at, and this may not be your state. All this stuff I'm telling you may not even affect you whatsoever. It may not even be your county. So what I'm telling you is so specific to us that it's just our experiences. It's not factual based on your location. I could go one kind because I'm telling you, the same rules that happen here in this county was in Leon County where we live, where we already own a piece of land and we already had undeveloped land that we could have stayed on. But because we could not do all of these things, we sold it and moved further out where they didn't have these restrictions. But in a matter of a couple of years, the restrictions came to the country. So what I'm saying, fam, we share a lot on YouTube, but we share a lot of secrets. And that's why I'm passionate about as soon as you can get you some land, go ahead and get established on the land because it's going to get harder and harder and harder and more costly and costly. We done this thing before. We did not have to pull these many permits, period. We bought raw land. Like I said, our first home at my tender age of 23. Now, Gigi, on the other hand, I'll keep it down, but she was, but anyway, we didn't have to pull nowhere near many permits that we pulling right now in 2024, right? So it's getting more and more expensive. It's getting more tedious. The process is, and this is the crippling thing with what's challenging, and this what I could see the whole bubble, right? I can see the whole scheme of thing. Like, the idea is get with a builder, get with this large company here. Don't get with a private builder, get with these large companies, because these large companies, and there we go, you got me on a binge again about the government. So the large companies, they get these lobbyists, they get these consortiums, they get all this stuff, and they start implementing laws, and they put pressure on these cities and these counties and these large builders, corporations. They want to lock down everything. So now a small builder don't have a lot of administrative people, and they know their way in and out, but it's getting harder for them. But these large companies, what they do is they got all that stuff in house, and so when you come to them, they can give you a whole package, and they got all that finance, and then all of that finance. So you think you might build a house for $150,000, $200,000. Then you wonder why it's 280 by the time you finish with it. It's because of all of this stuff and these extra charges with them handling everything, because their organizations then got together and all their donations and all that stuff, just like the National Board of Realtors, all that, they go in, they implement these laws and these guidelines that squeezes the small people, and then you got to go through these big corporations, and they're making that gap larger and larger for somebody who just want to be independent and say, I want to put my own permits, I want to build my own house, I want to do this, I want to do that. And why do I need this and why do I need that? Because it's there to keep you safe, but it's really there to add costs and stack costs and stack costs and stack costs. And what it does, it fuels the economy for the local community. It fuels the economy, right? So anyway, that's me and my rant. That's my personal opinion, y'all. This is all my personal opinion for entertainment purposes only, y'all. Tammy Alexander, how you doing? Good. Glad. Come on in. Have a seat. Let me make a little room over here for Tammy. Come on in, Tammy. Come on over. Go on with Hudson. Hey, and thanks for your appreciate that. Be Rich. Thank you for that super chat. Be Rich. Thank you. Appreciate that. Great question too. Great observation too. Sometimes I dance around stuff, y'all, because I want y'all to find your own customized way of doing things. I'm gonna say it like that. I want you to find your own customized way of doing things, because yeah, those pallet houses look neat. Don't let TV pallet houses. Don't let TV get you in a little trouble. My thing is, this is another thing. Once you get this permitted and all that, now if I wanted to build a second pallet house back there off grid, I'm good. The worst thing they can make me do is tear it down. I'm good. But now, if that was my primary stay, you're going to have some problems. You back there living in the woods, I don't care whether your land or not. You might have some problems. Depends on where you are. Some places, they could care less. Some places, they care. And they want to know. And all you got to do is have something serious happen. Call 911. Or a fire get out of hand. Or people hear noises and they think it's some trespassers. Then they call the gang war and they hear some hunting going on or something. All it takes is one incident, and then you're gonna watch the domino effect come. And then this is your buttocks. And this is what they're gonna do. Spank you all the way down for all them things you circumvented. And trust me, especially if it's generating you revenue, especially if you made a large investment, you don't want to shortcut this thing. Because if you shortcut this thing, it's gonna come back and gonna spank you. And nothing is worse. Nothing is worse. I put it like this: nothing is worse than being in a cell and looking in the cell and looking out the window and seeing your girlfriend and your boyfriend walking down the street, and you can't get to them. That's how it is watching them seize your land, prohibit you from living on that land, and then turn around and foreclose on it because you be like, I'm not doing this. I'm not going back because they got all these fees and stacked on fees and all that kind of stuff. And then they put the interest on it and all that kind of stuff. Then next thing you know, somebody else got your land. Somebody else got your land. You don't want that. Good morning, Miss Native. How you doing? Good morning. Mini Bike Larry. What's going on, Mini Bike Larry? I like that icon. That's cool. Walmart ain't playing no more either. What? Walmart ain't playing no more. Walmart ain't playing no more. Okay, I don't know what that means. Oh, is it the RV? Like staying overnight? I don't know. Let me know what you're talking about. I'm curious. Regina Dwayne, what's going on? What's going on? Good to see you. Long time no see. Grand Rising. In the state of Texas, a veteran can stay in a state park as long as they want with a free pass. Also in Texas, on rural land that is unzoned, you can build a whole lot. Why Texas is growing. And salute to y'all over in Texas. And the more people come in, the more restrictive it's gonna get. Because I'm telling you, I've seen Florida go through a lot over the years, and Texas is a magnet right now. And ever since 2020, people are piling into Texas. And Texas it's already big. It's already a bunch of land. But eventually, people gonna bring their mindsets and their traditions, and the bag gonna swing one way and swing another. So take advantage of that as much as you possibly can. Seize the opportunity and get in there, and hopefully you can get grandfathered in on a lot of this stuff, and you won't be affected. That is, and that's why I say everything I'm telling you all are what we experience based on our situation, because you can go 10, 15, 20 miles from here, and some could be totally different. So just understand, it's just something to put your antennas up. When you're moving or when you're thinking about getting ready to do this thing, man, I remember Eco said something. Let me check on that. Let me check is that. Let me ask some questions to this realtor. Do they know? And don't just check the realtor, but check planning, zoning. Let me have me a meeting. Let me put me a meeting together, because I like this area. I don't know where I'm going to get land at, but I like this area. Let me sit down with planning and zoning. Let me get a meeting with planning and zoning, and then just brainstorm on some things I would like to do and see what things would be required of me if I did it in this area, in this vicinity, in this area. And then you might sit down with planning and zoning, you'd be like, I don't think I want to live in this area. Or, man, that's great. I got a lot of options. It's best to know going in than just going in and then you get ready to go and you get stop sign. Okay, stop sign, stop sign. That's frustrating. I don't want that for you. And then now you're stuck with a piece of property and you're trying to sell it, and then you're trying to get back the time and the money you did. And property, although property goes up, it still doesn't bring a return in a lot of cases, like unless you get it on the low. If you get on the low, in a lot of cases, it may not increase in value as fast as more like if you got established structure. I'm just talking about raw land. All right, let's see. What else we got going on? Country, CC, Texas. Garden, what's going on, CC? Good to see you. Good to see you. Country Hustle 101. Good to know people on the police jury. Good to know people on the police jury. I guess so. I guess so. I mean, networking is so critical. Networking, the country dreaming. What's going on? Good to see y'all, fam. What's up? What's up? What's up? Let's see. Let me go down. All right, Regina Dwayne. Here we go. Also in Texas, 100% veteran pays no property taxes up to 2 properties, 0 taxes. The only state that does this. Now, do your research, confirm. But let me say this. Some people say, I can't live in America, man. I got to pay tax to others. Do your research. You find out things you didn't know. Here it is, where got a tidbit of information. You might have opportunities, you know. It sounds like Regina Wayne should really be working for the what they call it? The what do they call that? Not the Chamber of Commerce. What do they call it? It's like the hospitality, welcome people to a state. I can't remember what they call it. Yeah, they need to be paying you, my brother, because you do make it sound very attractive for that good old Texas, man. You make it sound very attractive. That Texas living. 60 people watch. I appreciate that. Hey, only if you want to, fam. Only if you want to. If you do, that's cool. But I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, LP. Good morning to you too as well. Good morning. Good morning. All right, I'm finna go down to another question. Let's see. Here we go. Regenerative Life Wayne says, if you are a veteran in Texas, you own 2. Okay, I already did. I don't know why I thought I was already at the bottom right now. Okay. What's up, Ross Bot? What's going on? What's going on? Good to see you in the chat. They do a lot to help companies and corporations build, at least around here. But regular people have to jump every hoop and climb every ladder. LP, I don't know if you caught my last live, but once again, real high level. Most governments are ran by corporations. Most countries are ran by wealthy people and corporations. That's just the way of the world, you know. However that bag swings, that's the direction they go. Now, we collectively can make an impact, but we got to be collectively, and we got to be focused on an issue that we can all push as a collective mind, body, spirit, all of that. So, you know, that's one of them things. The city government, one of their duties is not only to keep people safe, not only make it a livable environment, but to also attract corporations. So if you attract corporations, it just, once you bring them into your city, then it gives people jobs and opportunities, then they can grow. And that's all ending with that dollar bill, y'all, that dollar bill. And if that dollar bill could come in, that means more taxations, that means job security, that means a lot of other stuff, y'all. It means more resources and all of that stuff that you want to believe in and trust in. Yeah, it's all of that. It's just that wash machine, friend. That's all it is. Let's see. So the spanking ain't just fines, jail time. No thing. well, you know, I don't know. You know, it's all about perspective, fam. I just look at it like perspective. You know, like if some of the regulations and laws, some of them are for safety, right? Let's not get that twisted. Some laws are there for safety. Some laws are there to protect you as a person. You know what I'm saying? Some laws are to make sure that you are in good standing, right? So it's a little bit of mixture of this and that, but it's a lot of fluff in that too. You know what I'm saying? Charlotte, oh, look at this, man. Charlotte Urban Garden. Thank you. I appreciate that. Bless up, bless up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. Much love to you, Charlotte Urban Garden. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Means a lot. Really appreciate that. Let's see. Gigi says Florida exempts the homestead of honorably discharged veterans with a 100% service connected disability from property taxes. That's why I keep saying we are affected by everyday life, and we got to break down what we're doing. Okay, I'm paying taxes. Every time you get money taken out of your home, question where it's going, what it's going, and if you don't know about it, go find out. Pick up the phone, send an email, have a meeting, sit down, have a meeting. Like, okay, I need to sit down because I'm paying property taxes, fam. What am I paying? I see y'all got this, but break this down for me. Can we have a meeting or can we have a conference call? Okay, then what that would do will allow you to be like, okay, well, are there any type of other things that I can have or deductions I can get or different things like that? You got to ask questions. You got to get involved. You got to know where the dollar goes. You got to know where your money goes. So the more you learn about that, the more you can obtain more knowledge about that. Now, let's talk a little bit more about another question that was asked that I said it would take too long to put it in a comment or anything like that. Somebody asked me, Eco, is it best to drill a well or water catchment system? I'm going to talk about in my location about what works best for us. Okay. Of course, to me, hands down, a well is the best solution in some cases. Like I said, now that I look, it's hard for me to wrap my brain around 20 acres, right? When you buying raw land, that's what we bought. It's all woods. Back here is what this whole property looked like, this right here. Think about this. There's no pipes. There's no sewage drains. There's nothing to tap into, no natural gas. There's no nothing. So although a well is a great selection, if I go down my property a little bit, or if I go north up here, I got catchments and I don't have enough catchment systems. I do plan on buying larger catchments, and I think it's best to have multiplicity of water sources, because it wasn't until I got my behind out here, but raw, just like the land, that I realized how valuable water is. Understand this. My strategy is throughout my land, I plan to eat and have medicine. So I don't do the ordinary flower bed, the ordinary little garden. We got a little section garden to keep like vermins out or something like that. But I go to seed almost everything I plant. So I will plant some collard greens out here. I might plant some basil out here. I take some peach seeds and I'm going to put them in the ground. I'm going to put stuff everywhere. That's what I've been doing. Me and Gigi were riding down one of the trails, and she said, "Whoa, wait a minute. Is that pine cone ginger lily?" I said, "Yeah, that pine cone ginger lily." I ain't know you plant. I'm planting stuff everywhere. I got wild basil. I got sage. I want medicine and food everywhere. So you gotta water it when you first do it. There's no way in the world. I got hundreds of feet of water hose, because like I said, everything is on a cash deal. My goal this winter, why it's cool, is I do want to rent. I just got lot of this stuff, these projects I have to save up for. But I want to rent a trencher. I want to rent a trencher, and I want to do more piping through the property. I definitely need to do more water spigots and faucets all throughout. I've got a few, but I need tons more. Long term, I definitely going to need another well. I know that at least maybe 2 more wells. But I think I can get by with, yeah, I need at least 2 more wells. When you have this amount of land, you need infrastructure. And there's no way in the world I could have like cattle or anything like that, because of the fact of they wouldn't be right here. I would have to clear out enough field space, because like I said, these are woods. I need to clear out field space. Then I have to plant for 1 year, all the hay and all that stuff, and then I have to fence it and do all of that. So I'm not really entertaining none of that. But I would still need water. Whenever I plant anything, I still need the water. I put trees, fruit trees, and all that kind of stuff. I still need to plant water. So I say you need to have both water catchment and well. And I don't think you never ever can get too much water. You need places to store water. I got so many creative ways and places. Now that sun coming around them trees, I got so many places and ways to catch water. And some people, they don't understand it. But I have water where I share my water. I don't just have the water just for me and my use. I share it with nature. I got water holes dug out. Y'all seen one of my videos where I would dig out little trenches, divots in the ground, and then I put a polymaterial down or sometimes concrete. And when it rains a lot, guess what it does? I'm able to scoop out some water and water some of my plants. And the animals, they're able to drink from that water. And guess what that does? That keep them hanging around and chilling around me. And when I got animals chilling around me, who knows? It may be a food source. You know, who knows? So I say diversify that as much as you possibly can. Let's see. Gigi says Arkansas exempts the homestead of certain disabled veterans from property taxes. There's alternatives, fam. You gotta seek them out. You gotta look for them. I'm always glad to see when we can truly do something for the veterans. We need to do a national wide. Whatever states are doing, we need to do it nationwide. I don't think we can do enough for our veterans. We need to do more and more for our veterans. I appreciate that. Thank you, G Hud. Thank y'all. We need to do as much as we possibly can for our veterans. Wayne says a veteran in Texas, contact the VLB, aka Texas Veteran Land Board, the state. Oh, appreciate that, man. Thank you. Good looking out. Contacts the Texas Veteran Land Board, the state administrator in the county with huge veteran land benefits. They will tell you all the huge land benefits. There it is. I'm gonna let that sit there just for a little while. Thank you for looking out for the vet, Wayne. Thank you. I'm just gonna let that sit there so y'all can catch that for a little while. Let's see. LP. I think it was your last live I caught the end of. I do agree. They're run by corporations. It's a shame because they aren't the ones paying most of the taxes. But yeah, we got to do what we can. And, you know, a lot of times they play with numbers, you know. In reality, they are paying a large amount of the taxes. In reality, they are. And I ain't trying to contradict you, but I'm just saying, when you look at it, in a lot of ways they are. And this is the way they'll play with it. They get tax benefits, they get tax reductions, but they earn more money. And so if I'm earning $1 million a month, I can say I'm paying more taxes than you. But if I'm only paying 5% and you paying 15% to you as an individual, you're gonna say, I pay more taxes than you. They be playing with stuff, and you just gotta watch how they do it. Well, I'm giving you the job, and then when I give you the job, you paying the taxes. And if I didn't give you the job, in theory, I'm paying 5% and 15% by paying you. And it's that okie doke stuff. Oh, that's some good water. Ain't nothing like well water, fam. Nothing like well water. Well, let me say this. Ain't nothing like our good well water. Because not all well water is created equal. That's pretty awesome of those states to take care of. Yeah, I think that's awesome too, LP. I totally agree. Just to name a couple of states, there are more, but you must meet certain criteria. Thanks for that, Gigi. Appreciate that info. Thanks, Wayne. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Like Eco says, folks, read. A lot of these rights, they will not tell you. Look for, it's like a discount. It's like a discount. You know, everybody in business make money. You know what I'm saying? Do you give discounts to senior citizens? Yeah, we get discount. Well, why you ain't tell me? Well, you ain't asked. You didn't ask. Now let's go deeper. What's y'all rules on senior citizen? How old do they start? 50. Hey. I'm a senior citizen. I'll be it. I'll be one. I'll be one. You know what I'm saying? Get a little bit deeper. Keep asking questions. It's almost like the little kids when you're growing up. They sitting in the car and you got a conversation with them. Now you're getting frustrated because they're saying, why? Because such and such. Well, why? Because such and such. Well, why? Would you start asking questions? And all they trying to do is just learn. All they trying to do is learn. Then we get old and get slow and dumb and don't ask no questions. Ross, get a corporate lawyer for planning advice. Go to local law school clinic. I don't think we never can learn enough. And then when you learn it, Ross, let me add to that. Share it with somebody else, fam. As our beautiful chat has been doing. Don't just get that knowledge and keep it all to yourself and then you die with it. And then you got this rich earth. All you got is this rich earth after you're dead and gone. And we can't benefit off of that. You know, share a little bit. Share a little bit. And share some of your mishaps. Share some of your bumping of the heads. I'm sharing a lot of bumping of my head. Y'all don't see all these knots on my head? You know, because who would like to see somebody go down the road and bump their head? Now, some people would, but not me, man. Come on. We got to do better with each other. Eco, are you allowed to catch rainwater from the roof, etc.? Family man. Had nobody told me not to. I'm gonna say it like no one has told me not to catch rainwater from our roof. I'm just answer that like that. Yeah. I don't want no spanking either. What's up from what man? What's up? RHR Pro Gamer BD from Bangladesh. What's going on? What's up? Look like you're playing a game on the icon. You about your business. Bless up. Welcome. Eco Neighbor is right. Corporate pay. Lots of huge taxes but they all bring many millions in employment and business for the area they building in. Why they get tax breaks? Yeah, it's like this. They're gonna get their money one way or the other, but they rather get it in their neighborhood. So these cities and these counties or these states, they'll pull to bring these big corporations in and get these big corporations in, and they'll say, the big corporation say, why should I come there? Why should I build it? What's in it for me? We could be here anywhere. We got this other state right here that's giving this reduction. Well, we'll give you land. Give us land. We got this state over here that's giving us land. What's the benefit of that? Well, not only will we give you land, you won't have to pay taxes for 10 years. Got me interested now. What about y'all state or your county, your corporate taxes and all that? What we'll do, we'll give you a discount on that too. We give you a discount on that too. And then somebody tapping the shoulder, what are you talking about? How you gonna give them a discount? Listen, they're gonna bring in work, they're gonna bring in people. The people gonna make money, the people gonna spend the money, the people gonna create other little small businesses, extra business. They're going to shop. They're going to spend money. They're going to build houses. We're going to get property taxes. We're going to get all of this stuff from this company coming here. We're going to get infrastructure for our roads. We're going to get a lot of different stuff. Trust me, I got you. Oh, I wonder how we're going to make money. That's how they're going to make money. They're going to make money one way or the other. And when corporations come, they're going to employ you. And then you're going to get paid. You're going to get that check. You're going to want to go get something to eat. Then when you go get something to eat, you're going to be paying some taxes. Then you're going to want to put some gas in your car. When you put some gas in your car, otherwise you would have stayed at home because you ain't had no job. You ain't had no money. Now you're putting gas in the car. Now you might want to go and catch a movie or two. Then you're going to pay some taxes on that. Then now you're going to ball out at Walmart or Costco or Home Depot. Guess what's going to happen? Boom, you spend money there, you're going to pay some taxes. Then after you go there, you're going to go buy another house, bigger and better, balling, more taxes. Next thing you know, boom, you're paying more taxes. Then next thing you know, you're going to want to get a car, get a nicer car, pay more taxes, and it's all good. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. That's what make the world go round. That's why I said the government don't print no money. Not now, until they go digital. They're going to own it all then. Ooh, it's so gangster. Boy, it's so gangster. We can learn a lot from government. We can learn a lot from government. Oh, my goodness, we can learn so much from government. Belinda said, I am in Florida. I'm glad. Good to see you, too. I'm glad you made it. I hope everything's good. And I put IBC off my chicken coop for the chickens and garden. That's something I need to do. I did not know chickens drank so much. I had no idea the chickens drink so much, especially in the sunny state of Florida. These chickens don't play by drinking, man. And it depends on how many you got. You better have you some water. You better have access to water. And if you're trying to off-grid live that thing and you talking about having some chickens and you don't have no water, you're going to be toting a lot of water. You might want to go ahead and get your water infrastructure put in place before you bring in them chickens, because chickens can drink. Like I said, I had no idea chickens drank so much. Seed, soil, and sunshine. What's going on? You real late. You real on time. You real on time. I appreciate if you check the replay, though. I really appreciate that. Thank you for coming on in. So, I don't see any more questions, and I just wanted to share just those few questions that I've been getting, that people been asking, and they wanted the answer. And I just want to provide them an answer, and it's all about that land, all about establishing a homestead, all about getting some space, y'all, getting a little extra room, some elbow room, stretching room, some paths, some freedom, some nature, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Food forests on swole, you know. It's going to take years, but one day, hopefully, if the Lord keep blessing me to kick around this can, as my auntie would say, Auntie Ellen would say, kick around this can a few more times, one day y'all going to get to see the abundance of food one day, and you get to see the beauty in just starting from building an idea, from the dream to the idea to the concept to reality. Y'all, I hope everything is blessed in your world. I hope your week goes amazing. I hope everything that you do, think about in a positive fashion happens, and it happened in abundance, way faster and quicker than you expected, and it's all put together with no strings attached. May life treat you well. Regenerative Wayne kicked in. Let's see. Uh, look how has grown. Look how it's grown because of all the big AI companies. Okay, look how it's grown all because of the AI companies left California and moved to Texas. Folks went from not having a job to making over $100,000 easy in Austin now. Yeah. And like I said, I remember in Florida years ago, I remember when it was 2004, 2003, 2000. Man, I remember I had $100,000 a year, making $100,000 a year. I was like, man, this feels good. Man, this feels real good. I felt like whatever I wanted, I could dream of. But guess what happened? More and more people started making that around me. And more people started making that around me. Guess what happened? Stuff started costing a little bit more, a little bit more. And I remember just 15 years ago, that house was $200,000. Now that house, $500,000. I remember that $500,000 house. Now it's $1.2, $1.3 million. I don't get this, man. Now, if I take this same $500,000 house and take it 100 miles from here across the line, that house is $220,000. Man, I don't get it. I remember my light bill was $60. Why is my light bill $300 and $400 now? It's funny how when cream rises to the top, it's funny how cream rises to the top. Then next thing you know, the bubbles will get to be jammed up all tight next to each other and it can't move around. But one time before all the bubbles came up, it seemed like I could just move a little bit freer, you know? But with growth come inflation. They raised the minimum wage, they raised the prices for everything. And in relative, you're still in the same position. Still in the same position. And what we don't really realize that the value of the dollar is just doing this. So it's like you go somewhere, you say you pay $3 for something, but then you go to Mexico, you say 100 pesos. 100 pesos? I can get 100 pesos for 50 cents. Then you realize that the dollar become pesos. So you go to other countries sometime and you say, man, I got thousands of dollars in the USA. I ain't have but $50, $60. There's thousands of dollars here. You're just feeling the crunch. You're feeling the cream rising to the top. And it looked good. Them 100 G's look good. But them 100 G's ain't nothing but $35,000, $40,000. Them 100 G's ain't nothing but about $35,000, $40,000. Every time I see 100 G's, I be like, I got $30,000, $40,000 ain't bad. Or is it? Or is it? I don't know. Anyway, growing what I eat. Thank you. I appreciate that. I am getting out of here. Shiny, what's going on? I'm glad you stuck your head on in. Thank you. Thank you for coming in. That's why we have to start looking now to find opportunities and take advantage of the opportunities when they are available. That's today and every day. That is the beautiful way of life, my friend. That is the day and every day. No state taxes in Texas either. Do your math, folks. Another reason big corporations moving here in AI. Florida, same thing. We don't have no state taxes, but I still go to Georgia to buy stuff. I'm so embarrassed, y'all. I'm so embarrassed. Oh, the sad part about it, fam, and even in a state with no taxes, well, no taxes on unprocessed food. It's taxes on everything else. But, and I still go to buy my meats in Georgia. I'm just saying, with me putting, not only me going across the line, because I'm close, going across the line, I go get the gas from Georgia, go get the meat from Georgia, pay Georgia's taxes, and still save more money than going over here down to this place over here. It's one of them things, man. The thing about corporations that trip me out is they don't have to live where these benefits are. They just channel funds and channel resources through it. You know, you'll have these CEOs and stuff like that. They'll come in, but they won't actually live there. They'll just let the work get done, check on it every now and then, they'll fly back to wherever they at. And then they might have a residency there if there's some great tax benefits, and then they'll run the taxes through there or run it through the corporation or run it through both. And they'll be like, okay, the house, I live here. Even though they don't live there. They say you got to stay certain places 6 months. Who going to check them? Who going to check them? I don't know. Who going to check them? I don't know who going to check them. But they do these things, and they got the flexibility because they can hop on a plane at any time. Ain't no big thing. Money is not a resource, but they tight with money now. They tight with money at the same time. But y'all stay well, y'all stay blessed, and have a beautiful week, y'all. And don't forget to keep on growing. Grow. Take care. Until the next time. Thank y'all for tuning in. Till the next time, fam. Catch you on the other side.